Hi, Stephen C. Campbell here. Welcome to another marketing lesson. And today we're talking about marketing segmentation. That's a picture of me at a recent business trip to Shanghai, where I was actually doing some consulting, just taking some downtime, going to the wonderful Apple store in Shanghai. First of all, a brief look over at the marketing strategy framework that I conveniently use. I found this to work very well in various countries and in various industries. It consists basically of three components, and each component, of course, we can go into much depth, and we do. First of all, categories. The category of the marketplace that your product or service actually fits into. Very important to get this clearly defined, to spend some time to work this out, and we have another video on this. Secondly, we talk about marketing segments. And that's what we're going to be speaking about today. And that's making sure that you're selling your product to the correct marketing segment and getting that clearly defined. And the bit which joins the segments and the categories together, your product and service together, are your marketing channels. And again, we speak about that in another video. So look around for that, and I hope you get something from that one. But today we're talking about your marketing segments, market segmentation. So, of course, when we talk about segments, marketing segments, it's important to understand and really keep in the frame of mind that we're actually selling to individuals. We're selling to somebody. And now, of course, another important thing is that, as Kenichi Amai eloquently writes in his book, The Borderless World, that we're living in a borderless world. Thomas Friedman talks about the world being flat. So these people that we're selling to in different marketing segments could be anywhere in the world. And it's pretty much possible now to sell your products and services to the world, the globe. So this is also another thing to keep in mind. We've moved away from the traditional business selling to the people within a couple of miles radius of where you live. We're very much in a global village. So moving on, the first section of who you're selling to in market segmentation is B2C, business to consumer, to consider. So let's briefly take a look at that. So for your business to consumer consideration, conveniently, of course, you could be selling your products or services for men, targeting your products or services for men. This, of course, will come back and to tie into your marketing message, where you place your message, the channels you use to get your message through to the end user marketplace. So really important to consideration to consider the sex that you're selling to. Conversely, you could be selling to women, woman-based products, woman-based services. And later on, we'll speak about some other ways that we can actually reach our target market when we speak about other ways to look at segmentation. Of course, you could be selling products or services to couples. These two look very happy. Maybe they just got engaged or just won a lot of money. But if you're selling something to couples, very important to understand where the hot buttons are, and who makes the decisions, and to carefully target your message. And of course, in terms of selling things to the consumer, you could be selling things to groups of people. And if this is the case, if your product or service fits into this category, very important to have a message targeted. So what we can see here are 4 different segments when we talk about selling to the consumer. Now, ideally, what you want to do is to have 4 separate marketing messages for each segment. So a separate message for women, separate for men, it could be the same product that you're selling, but ideally what you want to do is craft your marketing message specifically for the particular segment that you're selling to. So that's the brief selling to consumers. Now, of course, the other side of the spectrum is actually selling business to business. So let's spend a couple of minutes talking about business to business market segmentation overview. Now, selling business to business, again, this can be split up into more chunks. You can further segment this down. But for the purpose of this overview, let's just consider selling products or services to blue chip corporates. You send to a blue chip corporate company, and this is a convenient photo of Silicon Valley. Now, if you take your blue chip corporate, which are turning over billions and tens of billions of dollars, and you're selling something to them, products or services, then of course you would be developing an appropriate marketing message to find the people within the organization to actually sell to. And we'll touch on this in a short while when we talk about psychographics. But then again, as we said, you're selling to individuals, but if these individuals are within blue chip corporates, then your marketing message must be tailored accordingly. On the other hand, you could have products or services which are targeted for, again, to the business marketplace, but to the small and medium enterprise company, turning over a few million or maybe tens of thousands of dollars or pounds. Their buying cycles will be different. The quantities that they buy will be different from your blue chip corporate company. Also, maybe they may have different quality standards that you have to come up to and meet before you can actually sell to them. The sales process may well be shorter. You may be able to start selling to them within weeks, whereas typically if you're targeting a blue chip corporate, there's lots of formalities and regulations to go through, and this could take sometimes years. So very, very important to ensure that in your segmentation process that the message that you're crafting is targeted to the appropriate segment within the business to business market that you're actually selling to. Now, we've spoken about business to business and business to consumer. Now, business to business and business to consumer, conveniently, two aspects of the marketing mix, the marketing puzzle, tie these together. And this is, of course, demographics, because even if you're selling to a business to business organization, that's one thing, of course, and they will go on and sell their products. Eventually, a human being, an individual, will be buying the products. Now, conveniently, we can split the market segment up into. Conveniently, we can go into this much more detail, but it could be marital status. So you can conveniently segment the population up into: are you married, or are you single, or are you divorced? It conveniently could be age. So, of course, you could be selling products or services to people over 60, approaching retirement age, or teenagers, people under 20. You could be targeting up to 25, the typical student age, and crafting your marketing message appropriately. Race is another very, very important market segmentation aspect to look at in terms of the demographics, because of course we know there's a great lot of economic power in various market segments. When we speak about race, we could talk about the African American community, the amount of buying power there is there. We can talk about the Hispanic community, the Caucasian white, the Indians, of course the billions of Chinese that we have on the planet. Very, very convenient and very important to do this. And even we mentioned some races. If you take in America, for example, even if you're selling a product service within America, very, very important, or the UK, to segment the marketplace to make sure that you target your message appropriately. We mentioned skincare cream in another lesson, and of course, this ties in. You could be selling your skincare cream in America, but who's that skincare cream for? Is it for black skin? Is it for white skin? Is it for Asian Indian skin? Or is it for Far Eastern, Japanese and Chinese and Taiwanese skin? And very, very important to craft your marketing message appropriately so that the people receiving the message understand that you're talking to them. Psychographics ties into business to business and business to consumer because this talks about buying behavior. Demographics are the who you're selling to. The psychographics are the buying behavior. And conveniently, we speak about three aspects. There are many more, of course. Who's the decision maker? So you're selling a product or service, but who's making the decision to actually get the product purchased? Now, the decision maker could be different to the consumer of the product or service. So it's very important to make sure that we target the correct person. Now, this is very, very pertinent and important when it comes to business sales, because often we go into an organization and we find a contact at a trade show or through cold calling, and then we focus our energy on that contact, and maybe that contact really has no decision-making power within the organization. And the other convenient step or component within psychographics is the purchaser. Now, a crude example you can give is with fast food and children going to McDonald's. Of course, the purchaser of the products of the fast food will be the parents. But who wants to, the consumer of the products, of course, will be the children. And then there's the decision maker. Sometimes the decision maker could be the children, as the parents will say, well, where do you want to go today? Or it could be the parents themselves. But of course, in this case, the purchaser is not the consumer. And so very often the marketing messages are targeted towards the parents because they can make the decision for the children. But of course, also the marketing message can be targeted towards the children, because if the children say they want to go to McDonald's enough, then of course the parents will respond accordingly. Also, very important when we talk about couples within the home, very often the purchaser of the household goods would be the man, but the decision maker will be the woman, and of course it will be everyone in the family who's actually consuming the product, whether it be a washing machine or a vacuum cleaner. So all these things get thrown into the mix when we're developing a marketing strategy, and it could take weeks and months to actually thrash out a coherent market segmentation plan. But this ties in with your marketing channel plan and also the category of the market that your product is actually fitting into. So this was a brief overview of market segmentation, which all corporations are using. Whether you know it or not, we're being affected by it, and it's been done carefully and skillfully. So whether you are working for a corporation or a small business or work from home business, hopefully you can take some information from this to get to work straight away. I'm Stephen C. Campbell. If you want to get in touch, just stop by stephenccampbell.com, hit the contact button, and maybe we can speak business and maybe we can do business together one day, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, and I'll see you in another lesson.